Hey guys, what up? Alpha, and today I'm going to bring you my Turbo Dark World profile for the post-September 2011 ban list, and also for post-Order of Chaos. So with the new cards released, this is how I would change the deck for what it is at the moment. Just get straight into it. You got the triple Grapha, obviously this is the reason the deck's good. Triple Snoww, pretty obvious. Triple Broww, also pretty obvious. Two Beiige. That's all the Dark World monsters. I don't like silver at all. The deck's main problem is drawing bad hands, and silver, just not being able to normal summon it is a real problem. Although it is a 2600 beta under gates, being able to normal summon Beiige just means that you can get double Grapha out per turn if you need to, and it's just much more consistent that way. 3 Tour Guide, you kind of have to for the consistency. 1 Sangan, I really don't like this card in Dark Worlds. Like, it really doesn't do all that much. It's such as Tour Guide and Broww at best, but other than that it's not that great. But I feel you need to run it just because it's one of the better monsters you can run, and you'll open, it reduces your clogginess of hands where you open like 5 spells in the Sangan if you do get unlucky. So then you can just set the Sangan and search a Tour Guide for the next template or whatever. And finally 1 Morphing Jar. I know most of the Turbo Dark World builds at least, like Claudia Kirkner's, were running triple drag down, triple dealings, and I elected to just play the Morphing Jar over the 3rd dealings, because obviously they're both unplayable in the mirror, but this also really helps with the bad hands that you can get, and also people don't expect this card, so it really takes you by surprise, and can win games, because it can work as a second card distraction, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's been working out fine. And I've also noticed since articles from players such as Fraser Smith and just general talk that Dark Worlds have sort of fallen off the radar a little bit, so just the element of surprise in the deck is really nice to have at the moment. So that's all the monsters. The spells: Monster Reborn, obvious. Dark Hole, obvious. Heavy Storm is honestly not a problem to run in this deck. I know a lot of people just say, oh yeah, you're running the gates and you have to set cards to drag down, but honestly it's sort of stupid not to run this card, because you can activate gates and you can still plus off this card quite a lot. And people will set more thinking you don't play as well, so some of those games. No one missed team main deck just because you want to be able to go off, and Rabbit aren't maining Dimensional Fissure anymore, so don't have to worry about that then. Foolish, get your Grapha to grade because it's a plus. Card Destruction is just so good, it's the best card in the whole deck. Obviously it's unplayable in the mirror, but it's just too good not to run otherwise. And then Allure, because obviously you run the Tour Guide to fuel Leviair plays, and it's just draw power, which is really nice. So those are the one-ofs. Then you got the triple gates, pretty obvious. Fuel your engine. I've only got 2 drag down at the moment, but there should be 3 here. So 3 drag down. Really good card game 1. I normally sort it out games 2, but just game 1 it's really nice to be able to get rid of the cards in your opponent's hand. It can sort of lower consistency if you draw cloggy other spells and stuff with it that you have to set to get this card off, but other than that it's absolutely fine. It's really key. It's the reason that we don't run Maxx C main deck. So I've only got 1 Dark World Dealings as well. I've lost my other one, but there should be 2 Dark World Dealings here. Obviously it's unplayable in the mirror match, but with Dark Worlds becoming less popular that's not as much of an issue, and it's just too good not to run main deck, because you want to be able to just have your discard outlets there to get rid of stuff, and obviously drawing a card is pluses as well. And then triple Upstart Goblin for consistency, pretty staple in most Turbo Dark World builds at the moment. Just means you're running a 37 card deck, so that's all the spells. Then onto the traps. Trap Dustshoot, best trap in the game at the moment. Solemn Judgment, second best trap in the game, just so good. Torrential Tribute, really good as well. 1 main deck dev, just because it hurts. It was really good pre-Order of Chaos, but now with Wind Up and Zectors out as well, this card is just going to get better. Really nice to be able to get this off early game. Just really good card at the moment. Saves your Grapha from stuff like Chaos Sorcerer and Dimensional Prison. And then through Reckless Greed, just so good. Gets you to where you need to be, gets you to all the second parts of your 2-piece combos, set multiples and get this, and then if you draw into like a card distraction off this, it's basically a good game. So yeah, that's the main deck, 40 cards obviously. Really like how it's been testing at the moment. But yeah, the reason I'm electing to run this deck, this format at the moment, obviously I have to see how the ban list affects the deck, but it's just because I feel the deck inconsistency aside, I've tried to make a build that is as consistent as possible, but just the fact that it has a really solid game 1 against a load of decks, and it can slide into some really nice cards as well, which I think is a really nice advantage. So, right, extra deck. We got 1 Utopia, pretty obvious. Should be two Zenmaines. I've only got 1 at the moment, so 2 Zenmaines. Same with Leviair. I've only got 1, but there should be 2 Leviair here. 1 Leviathan Dragon, and 1 Giga-brilliant. I'm very rarely go to the Giga-brilliant, but it's just options there, because you're much more likely to go into your rank 3 XCs than any of the synchros, because obviously you need the Monster Reborn for the synchro plays. So yeah, Giga-brilliant just provides options. It can turn your Grapha into something which can beat over BLS and the gates, and it can add the numbers up if you need to attack for game or whatnot. So those are the XCs. Then the synchros, pretty basic. You got 1 Catastor, 1 Brionac, 1 Gaia Knight, sorry. You can run Trap Dragon over this if you feel you can make it more, but 4 and 5-star tuners, just, you're never going to make it really. So I run the Gaia Knight over it. Black Rose, Ancient Fairy, Stardust, Trishula, and 1 Chimeratech, just because you're not pushed for space in the extra deck. I run this just so I can Monster Reborn Cyber Dragon against Karakuris or whatnot, or if they're stupid enough to leave out a Cyber Dragon in the machine, just running this gives you more options. So that's the extra deck, 15 cards obviously. And the side deck, this is still a work in progress I guess, but I've done some playtesting in the new format, but I'll have to wait for the big events to see how this will change. But at the moment, I'll do the monsters. So yeah, sorry, I'm missing second copies of a lot of cards, but I've only got 1 Veiler at the moment. There should be 2 Effect Veiler. I've only got 1 at the moment, but there should be 2 Arcana Force Area the Fool, 1 Maxx C, and 1 BLS. So 2 Veiler, 2 Arcana Force, 1 Maxx C, 1 BLS. And the reason that I do slide into this is mainly due to the prominence of the wind-up loop at the moment. It's the reason I'm electing to run the hand traps over stuff such as Skill Drain or Vanity's Emptiness or whatever. The traps that are really nice to run at the moment, but just the fact if you're going second against the loop, and also with MST around at the moment, Skill Drain just becomes a minus 1,000 life points if your opponent plays the MST properly. And similarly, Vanity's Emptiness makes the MST on the gates so much more of a plus for them. So I like to slide into the hand traps. I normally slide out of drag down, so this is fine. The reason I'm sliding the 2 Veiler over something such as 2 Maxx C is because of Inzektor's, and also because I'm sliding into the BLS, which is another power play. Arcana Force Zero the Fool, it basically works as a Spirit Reaper, but with Inzektor's released as well, I think more people will be sliding Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. And with that, sliding in Spirit Reaper is really risky, because it means that if they do have the Shadow Mirror out, not only are all my Dark World monster effects dead, but it means I can't wall with the Spirit Reaper and draw into an MST or whatever. So Arcana Force Zero the Fool is really nice. People are probably going to ask me why I'm not running Marshmallow over this, but this card is probably its keyest matchup is against Rescue Rabbit, and if my opponent has the Dolker, Marshmallow's effect triggers when it's attacked or flipped face up. So then Dolker can just negate and get rid of it, whereas Arcana Force the Fool just sits there and walls until I can draw into the MST. So games 2 and 3 you should really be playing in a much more controlled manner rather than the fast-paced game 1. And this you can sit on to just draw into your MSTs and to get rid of the Dimensional Fizzes and whatnot. And as I said, Veiler and Maxx C are obviously for just dead. I shouldn't really have to explain what they're there for. And BLS is because I slide into the lights. It's just another... It's another really useful top deck if I do get wind up looped. And yeah, it's just a really nice card to be sliding into. So those are the monsters. And the spells. Got triple MST. Yeah, as I've said, I don't main them because I don't like them game 1. 3 MST seems fine. I was originally playing the Dust Tornado as well, but I didn't really feel that that was needed at all really. So 3 MSTs is what I run. Then I run 1 Rivalry and 1 Gozen match. The reason I run 1-on-1 over 2 Gozen match is because the only matchup that I would slide Gozen over Rivalry is the Rabbit matchup, and I'm only going to slide in 1 Gozen in the Rabbit matchup anyway, so 1-on-1 is fine. Rivalry hurts like Plants and Chaos and generic stuff that these 2 cards are better against anyway, so 1-on-1 is fine at the moment. Wins games, honestly. If you get Rivalry out against plants and they don't have the MST, you're just winning. 2 Dark Smog. I really like this card. I really wanted to main deck it, but it was just too slow for game 1. But yeah, it's really good in the mirror match. It's so good. Just get rid of the Grapha, and it works as another discard outlet, because obviously you have to slide out your Morphing Jar, your dealings, and your card destruction. So this works as your extra discard outlet, I guess. It's also really useful against the obvious stuff like Insectors, get rid of the Hornets, Light Sworn, and random stuff like that. Just anything that uses the grave heavily, this card just really wrecks. Continuous DD Crow is insane. And finally, T-Dimensional Prison. Really good again in the mirror to get rid of the Graphas. Anything that runs big monsters like Agents, get rid of their Hyperions and Christias. Anything that can easily get to Naturia Beast like 6 sound or something like that. So yeah, that's the extra deck. That's the side deck. So yeah, that's the deck overall. If you have any feedback on it, or any comments, or how you think the deck will evolve or change with the release of Order of Chaos, or how you think the deck will be affected in the ban list, I'm probably going to do a video after this on my ban list predictions, and what I think would be good for the game. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile at the moment. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Cheers.